Hi guys, my name is Patty Pittman with Georgia Safe Routes to School, and I am the North Georgia coordinator for the schools and walking and biking safely. We are a DOT project, so Department of Transportation, the same people that fix your roads and make it possible to drive trucks and cars and buses and things like that on the big roads. Sponsor us because we're what's called active transportation. So walking and bicycling, you're active while you're doing it, so it's active transportation. And I cover all of North Georgia. So I have all the schools in this pink area. And then we have other coordinators in the state that cover the purple and the yellow and then the green as well. So we have a lot of schools that we cover, more than 500. And we go out to those schools and we do lots of different things. We cover a few basic things. Here's what we go over. We look at the 6 E's: encouragement, education, evaluation, engineering, enforcement, almost forgot, and equity. And all of them are very important and they all kind of go together. So I'll tell you a little bit about how I do each one of those things. Encouragement. Encouragement is one of the ways that we contact schools and get communities and schools motivated to get moving, to walk and bike to school, and to also do education. And in encouragement, we do 3 main events every year. We have a walk to school day in the fall, we have a walk to school day in the spring, and we have a bike to school day in May. And with those events, we do some cool stuff, like we have incentives that we can hand out to schools to give to their walkers, and we love to go out and sticker kids and things too. So we have stickers, we have glow-in-the-dark bracelets, we have pencils, we get reflectors, and I love these. These are our bookmarks that remind everyone to be safe and be seen when they're walking. And they have great walk tips and bike tips on the back that just remind people to do things like walk on the left side of the road so you can see traffic coming at you, to make eye contact with drivers before you cross, to make sure the drivers actually see you and they're not just paused for a stop sign, but they actually see you, or a traffic light. So we do lots of events, and I'll show you a couple of pictures. So events look different at every school. At this school, they don't have sidewalks. They are kind of in the middle of a field, so they do walk to school days almost every day of the week. They do a walk to school day in the gym, and the kids do tons of miles. They log like almost 100,000 miles, I think, last year. Here's another walk to school day at a very walkable school. So at this school, they normally have a bunch of walkers every day, but on walk to school days, the event is huge. And here's where enforcement comes into play as well. With this school, they have a bunch of students that can walk to school and want to walk to school, but you see there's no crosswalk, there's no way to cross this road. So law enforcement comes out. Usually 3 cars come out with officers to help the students and their parents walk to school safely and cross that road so they can get to school on the walk days. And then this, see the glow-in-the-dark bracelets? This is one of my favorite pictures. This school does walk to school day. Again, they're a very remote rural school. They do walk to school days at the tracks at the track above their school during their specials time. So they encourage that way. A lot of schools will encourage walking and biking just by doing some education and posting announcements in the morning and on their boards in the school, reminding students to walk and bike safely and to make eye contact. And a lot of schools will contact their parents as well to remind them to do things like give bikes 3 feet when they're passing them, and to be more aware of bicycles and walkers around the school area. Education. I touch on education a little bit with us educating people during our events. And a big part of what we do is making sure that there are resources available to schools and to students and to parents for learning how to walk and bike safely, as well as driving safely around walkers and bicyclists. But we also go out and do events. So we'll do small group events. This is at a safety town, but we do small group events as well. And with younger students, we'll put down crosswalks and we'll demonstrate how to cross the street and how to make eye contact with drivers to get students a little bit more familiar with actually making eye contact with a driver, whether it's just waving and saying thank you before you cross the street to make sure that they see you. But we'll do lots of different events and ways for the kids to be educated in small groups. And then we'll do large group events, which are assembly style. We do these with all different age levels. This is an elementary school where we talk to every single grade, but we also do it with middle schools just as a reminder of what you need to do to get to school safely and what your responsibilities are as a walker or bicyclist when you're getting to school. We also do, this is fun, we'll do bike rodeos. This is with our friends from Safe Kids Cobb, and we did a bicycle rodeo, and this is more hands-on education where we teach about things like the ABCs. You can see over my shoulder the ABC checklist, so air, brakes, chain, and then the quick check part of that is to make sure that those quick checks, those quick release handles are securely fastened so that your seat doesn't move while you're riding or you don't lose a tire, because that would be really bad. And then we'll do things like big community events. Like this is a trunk or treat event where we go out into the communities and we're able to talk to parents and children, whether it's tabling or out of our trunks, and give tips for safety. That was a Halloween event, so of course I was talking about being safe walking at night, carrying flashlights, and making sure that you're wearing bright colors and reflective gear, whether it was reflective stickers on costumes or something to make you more visible to drivers. Evaluation. Evaluation is where we look at the area and we evaluate it, and a lot of that is based on numbers. We ask the schools to give us numbers of how many students walk and bike to school every year so we can see what kind of effect we're having not only on walkability and bikeability in the areas, but if there have been changes to the infrastructure, the roads or the sidewalks, to see if that's helping any. We also look at things like crash data from GDOT and from our law enforcement agencies to see what kind of crashes are happening around schools, if it's driver crashes, and we also look for pedestrian crashes and bicycle crashes. We do work off of a Vision Zero philosophy, which means that we believe and we work hard towards making zero bike crashes and zero pedestrian crashes a reality. And the communities we work with and the schools we work with, of course, want the same thing. We don't want to see any crashes with students arriving or dismissing from school. Engineering is a really cool focus that we have. So the engineering piece is where we get together with schools and community members and students, and we look at the area and we look at what's going on in the area and how the area is built and how people interact with that built environment. So we'll go to a school that maybe has had some issues or someone has concerns about, or sometimes a school just wants us to take a quick look and look for the best ways to bike and walk or the best procedures to get walkers and bicyclists into and out of the school on a normal day. So we'll go out to the schools and we'll gather people from transportation and we'll gather people from law enforcement, and we always ask bus drivers because they see everything. And we'll get community members, parents, students. You guys know everything about the areas, and we'll look at the different things in the areas, like where are the scary houses you don't want to walk in front of, and what dogs run instead of being penned up, and what intersections are hard to cross, and where are the sidewalks maybe not in great shape, or are there trees in the way that you can't see traffic? And we'll look at all of those things and create a list. And a lot of those work lists are very easy things that we can remedy just through neighborhood community cleanup days. But some of them are bigger things, and we'll give those to the transportation people, and they can usually find a way to make them happen or make things better for you. Enforcement. So you've heard me talk about working with law enforcement a couple of times now, whether it's on walk to school days or education or what have you. We work with our law enforcement agencies quite a bit, not just to ask them to make sure that people are driving at slow speeds around schools and stopping for stoplights and making sure that they're yielding to pedestrians and giving bicyclists the 3 feet when they pass them. But we also work with them in education. Law enforcement is very, very into making sure you know what to do and that drivers know what to do when they see you walking and bicycling. So here is a picture of some Cobb County police officers. They came out to help us at a bike rodeo and doing the education piece. And bike rodeos are a lot of fun because you can do a lot of hands-on events and they can do quick stops and quick starts. And so the police officers helped us out quite a bit with that and reminding parents and students of the rules of the road. And here's another one. This is neat. This is for Forsyth County, the Sheriff's Department. One of the deputies had a neat idea for pedestrian flags. See the pedestrian flag here? We had an issue where cars were not always stopping for people walking in the crosswalk. There's a flashing beacon there that you push the button and it flashes to get attention for the drivers that people are going to cross, but it was still kind of hard to see. And so the sheriff's deputy said, hey, why don't we use pedestrian flags? So a Girl Scout troop put together a pedestrian flag, and then the Girl Scout troop and the sheriff's department made a video on how to use the pedestrian flags, how to hold them out in front of them to get more attention so the cars would stop. And then, of course, making eye contact with the drivers and making sure the cars were stopped, crossing the road with those flags and putting them in the bin at the other side. Equity. Equity is our last E, and equity is actually a big part of the puzzle and goes through everything we do. Equity and equality get confused a lot. So equality basically means that everybody gets the same thing. So fairly, everyone gets the same thing. Equity means that everybody gets the same idea that suits them better. And here's kind of a good way to explain it. If I was going to give everyone in my house a treat. So I have 2 cats, a dog, and 2 children that I'm going to give a treat to. And they all got excited. They were ready to have their treat. And then I brought out this, cat treats. Well, 2 people in my house, the cats, would be excited about this. The dog might be kind of excited about this, but my children would not be excited about getting this as a treat. So equally, I could give them each a treat and give them each a cat treat. But if I was looking at doing it equitably, I would give the cats a cat treat, I would give the dog a dog treat, and I would give my children cookies. So I hope that kind of explains equity and equality. And the reason that equity kind of goes through everything we do is not everybody has the same experience. So some areas, people don't own a lot of cars, and we need to look at how they get to places in those areas, because car travel is not always going to be the best form of travel. And maybe they have to walk or they have to ride their bike to either get to a bus stop or to get to the grocery store. And so we need to look at those areas differently. So thanks for letting me share a little bit about what we do at the Georgia Safe Routes to School Resource Center with you today. Just a follow-up reminder, wear bright colors, make sure you're seen by drivers, make sure that you can be seen by drivers, make sure you're making eye contact with them before you cross in front of any drivers. Just a little wave will do. If you're riding your bike, put on your helmet. 2 fingers away from your eyebrow is where that helmet should sit. Make sure it's buckled, because if you go over the handlebars and your helmet is not buckled, your helmet is going first. And make sure that you're obeying the rules of the road. Stop signs matter. So stop your bike at the stop signs, look both ways, just like you're driving a car. I've so enjoyed spending time with you guys today. If you have any questions, I'm posting my information at the end of this. My email address is there. Please email me. I'm happy to come out and I'm happy to talk with you about if you're having issues in your area or if you want some more information. I'll talk to you soon. Y'all be safe and be seen.